Farm areas, are they a complete waste of time in 2020? Are they as good as they were 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago? Well, that's what we're going to find out today. Here's what I learned. 5 years in real estate zips by. And all of a sudden you wake up one day and you started selling real estate in the year 2000 and it's now 2005. Or you start selling right now, 2020, and all of a sudden it's 2025. 5 years zips by in real estate, and every agent that's been in the business 5 years, well, not every agent, but a large percentage of them, if you ask them, do you wish you'd started doing this, whatever this happens to be 5 years ago or 4 years ago, they will always say, yes, I wish I had it. So you've got to really, Tony Robbins calls it the rocking chair test, but you need to go ahead that 5 years, sit in your rocking chair, if anyone has rocking chairs anymore, and say, hey, I've been now doing that for 5 years, and what are the results that I have? And it should put a smile on your face. So that's the reason that I want you to farm. The advantage of farming is that you create another revenue stream into your business. You may have past clients as a revenue stream, referrals as a revenue stream, what I call my pick list, P-I-K, people I know, as a revenue stream. You may have some advertising that you do as a revenue stream, social media marketing as a revenue stream, referrals from agents outside the area as a revenue stream. So farming becomes another revenue stream into your business. Now, that being said, be very careful that farming doesn't become a huge percentage of your business. So if this is all your business and farming is this much, that's dangerous. And it's dangerous because if suddenly that farm area for some reason stops the turnover, then all of a sudden this business that you're getting now does this, and you've done nothing in this space to create more business. You've depended upon your farm too much. So that's something you need to be critically aware of, is to make sure that you generate business from your farm, but it's not such a high percentage that if the farm suddenly stops, you're out of business. Yeah, a friend of mine, back when I was first in real estate, he had a certain farm area and I had the really low priced area that I was working. My area was selling really well because the turnover is always higher in the lower income, obviously. His area all of a sudden started to slow down. He was used to selling 5, 6, 7 houses a month and it suddenly dropped to 1 or 2. And he struggled for years and years and years. Now, it eventually came back, but from that struggle, of me watching him struggle, I learned that I do not want all my business coming from that one area. And actually, why I think about it, and I didn't have this one actually written down, is you don't have to have one farm area. You can have a farm area in the lower income, middle income, and high income areas. And by income, I mean sales price, lower sales price, middle sales price, and higher sales price. Eventually, that's what I had. And it kind of just happened by default because I started in the lower price range. And as we sold those houses, those people moved up. Then I got to know people. This is when I was first in America. And then I met some people where I started selling, this is in the early 90s, $1 and $2 million houses. So I had people in the lower end, $100,000 houses, people in the middle, 300 to 500, and then people 800 to 2 million. So you don't have to stick to one farm area. It can be multiple farm areas over multiple price ranges, over multiple demographics. Now, what to do and how frequently to do it? Kind of the $1 million question. Bristol Myers, is that right? Bristol Myers did a study decades ago as to how many impressions does the consumer need before they start to remember something. And it turned out to be approximately 9. Now, I've heard as low as 6, but I've never ever heard lower than 6. That means if you're a consumer and you see marketing or advertising at least 6 times, you might start to remember McDonald's. But the trick is, once that part of the consumer's mind has your product in it, you can't stop. Because the second you stop, someone else is doing their 6, 7, 8, 9 impressions, and then all of a sudden then they own that space in the consumer's mind. So part of the farming and part of the frequency is getting enough impressions to get in the consumer's mind and then maintaining those impressions to be able to stay there. So it's kind of like this. Real estate is always on a slope like this. And if you're marketing, you stop. You don't stay there. You slide backwards. And then you got to start again, and then you slide backwards. So if you stop, you don't stay in that place. You slide backwards. And that's always how I I look at real estate and how I look at marketing. You can't just stop and go, I made it. Great, now I can relax. It doesn't work that way. And the trade-off is you get paid well and you have a great lifestyle. So suck it up. So be aware of the different times of year for marketing. You've got the seasons you've got the school terms, you've got the big holidays, you've got the small holidays, and you have to adjust your materials accordingly. And what this does for the consumer sitting in their house, when Thanksgiving starts to roll around for my American friends, then they get something either, direct mail, email, on their Instagram, on their feed, social, somewhere, and they go, oh, and they start to think, gosh, that agent is organized, they're ahead of the curve a little bit. Maybe when I'm going to sell, maybe I'll give them a call. That starts to happen, not consciously, it happens subconsciously. Then all of a sudden, one day, you may knock on their door, or you may bump into them at the local supermarket, and they go, oh, by the way, Daryl, we have been thinking of selling. Can you pop over our house one day next week? Kind of how it happens. So, that's it. We're done. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to be reminded of the next video, and please go out, start a farm, list something, sell something, and then let me know how you're doing in the comments below.